What's happening, Joey? What's happening, Gregory? Good to see you. Good evening. Welcome back. Another conversation on the couch. Tonight we're talking about relationship health. So it's going to be a conversation that we can apply to many different areas of our life. But while you're checking in, Jordan Athletics, good to see you. Way to go. Way to be here. I'm glad that you're here. Nahum Marietta, good to see you. Good to see you. So good to see everybody across all the platforms. We're going to keep it kind of brief tonight, but we're going to keep it going. Sun Cheese, good to see you. Thanks for being here. So I appreciate everybody being here. All right, so we are now officially, depending on where you live, we are officially into spring, and I'm happy for it. Christy Phil, y'all, good to see you. I'm happy about spring. I mean, the winter was mild, so I'm not complaining about that. But to be into spring, it's a good thing. Things are turning green at the farm, and that's good. And tomorrow there should be some new baby chicks on the farm. So the springtime thing is getting ready to happen. And with that being said, if we are looking at our life, if we're looking at relationships, sometimes we talk about this thing we call spring cleaning, where we start to make adjustments, get rid of some stuff. And so as that applies to relationships, here's the question: what do you need to get rid of? What do you need to do in order to make change? Right? We're in the midst of 40 days of fasting and fulfillment. And so with that being said, we're continuously moving towards something, right? The other day was my birthday, and I said, look, we have 1 year to do something, to get something done. Let's put it on the calendar. Let's put it on the map. Let's take action. Let's make sure that a year from now, our lives don't look the same. One of the big ways we can do that and address that is with our physical health and wellness. All right, let's not be so deep that we're thinking about all of our dreams and we're just skipping past the external, superficial layer of our bodies. So here's the question: what do you want to do with your body? All right, if you're going to keep it real, let's keep it real. Let's put some comments in the comment section. What do you want to do with your body? How do you want to enhance your health? Now, it may not be that you want to do anything in particular, but we can all look at enhancing our health, right? Like, what do you want from your health? How can you improve your health and well-being? How can you improve your relationship with food? How can you improve your relationship with rest? How can you improve your relationship with activity? It's one thing to think about the dreams we want to have, building the businesses, writing the books, doing things that we've conceptualized and we see in our mind. But how can we love the dream that we don't see and overlook our physical bodies that we do see? How are we going to really say we want the dream, we want this to happen, but we're not willing to do the hard part of addressing our physical being? I was thinking about how hard it is to start transforming your physical health, right? Like, it's a challenge. You have to do some things differently. You have to break some patterns, and there's a lot that goes into it mentally when you talk about wanting to change your relationship with your own health. But think about how much your health impacts the rest of your life, right? Think about if you were the most healthy, the most fit that you could be, how would that impact the rest of your life and how you show up in other places? Would you be more confident going into the boardroom if you knew that you were taking care of your body, if you knew that you had strung together days of consistency and months and perhaps even years of being consistent with your body? What it does is it does something for you mentally when you know you're taking care of that relationship. It obviously produces other benefits, like the chemical benefits of exercise and being active and eating well and all that stuff. Yes, there's going to be some internal benefits. Obviously, we know that. But think about how you are impacted when you have your dream. You want to do what it is that you want to do. And then you can look at your life and say, I actually believe that I can do it, because when I was in the gym the other day, I decided I was going to, lift 5 more pounds, and I did it. I did the hard thing. Or I decided I was going to start and be consistent. I was going to go for a 5-minute walk every day for the month of April. then at the end of April, you're looking back and you say, oh, I did that thing. See, here's the thing about the physical, your relationship with your physical being. It gives you an opportunity to create immediate wins. It gives you an opportunity where you get to set the environment, set the stage, you get to create the obstacles, and you get to say, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to lift this amount of weight. Well, you put the weight on the bar. You picked up those dumbbells. You did whatever that you decided to get down and do some push-ups. You decided that you were going to do some squats. So you're like, but I may not be able to do a lot of weight, but I'm going to start by sitting down in my chair and then getting up. See, one of the things I know is that sometimes we look at our beginning place and we're so overwhelmed by the obstacles in front of us because we know we want to go somewhere, right? We know we want to achieve something, but when we look at our starting spot, we oftentimes can get overwhelmed because the space between the two seems to be great, right? Like you're healthy right here. I mean, you look at yourself and you say, I'm unhealthy right here, but I see myself wanting to be really healthy there. But the space in between where I'm at now and where I want to be is so big that I'm actually kind of discouraged. And so if we're being honest, we're discouraged by the dream because it's so far. Somebody said they thought I was Dwayne Johnson. It's so far between where we are now and where we want to be. So what do? We've been talking about this lately. You find the easiest first step that you can take. What is the first step that you can take? And then you take that first step. One of the things I like working with people that, especially when they say, I want to lose 50, 100, plus pounds, right? Because it's an obstacle. It's a real challenge. And so it's like, all right, how am I going to lose these 100 pounds? Like, all right, don't worry about losing 100. You're not going to wake up tomorrow with 100 gone. Don't worry about that. We're going to take our first step. So let's figure out what you can do. And this is a question for whatever area of your life, right? Whatever you want to do with your health and wellness, think about it like this, because your health and wellness will impact your relationships. What can you do? Right? Well, I can. I'll ask someone, well, are you able to walk? Yeah, I can walk. Okay, great. Do you think you can walk for an hour? No, that would be a lot on me right now. Okay, that's fine. Do you think you can walk for 5 minutes? Yeah, I can do that. Do you think that you can walk for 10 without it being overwhelming? Yeah, I think I could probably walk 15. I'm like, okay, if you can walk 15, let's shoot for 8. Right? Like, so you find if you think you know where your limit is, don't go to your limit to start because that's discouraging. Back off of your limitations, back off of the biggest, grandest, most that you can do. Back off of that. Don't live there. Not in the beginning. That's discouraging. That's too painful. That's too hard. Let's back off of that for a moment. If you're just getting started and this is a struggle for you, if you feel like getting started is so hard, think about what is the thing that you can do that is most simple that can get you an immediate win. Today, I went for a walk and I went live on Facebook and I was just sharing. And really, I was doing it so that someone might be encouraged to get up and go walking in that few minutes that I'm walking too. So I decided I'm going to walk for 20 minutes. Right? I'm going to do a 20-minute walk every day, get some blood moving. Outside of lifting weights, doing push-ups, resistance training, right? So outside of that, it's just being out in nature, doing something, right? Well, that's a great way to get started, right? And I'm inviting you, right? And you're going to see this in the next couple of days. I'm going to have it available. I'm going to invite you to walk with me, wherever you are in the world, whatever time of the day that you do it. That's going to be it'll be great, right? Whatever, it doesn't matter what time you do it. I'm just going to invite you to walk with me. I'm going to invite you to go on the journey with me because between my birthday on March 15th and my next birthday on March 15th, I want to physically get into perhaps the greatest shape of my life. I don't know if it's going to happen in this 1 year because I was a collegiate athlete, trained really hard. So I was in really great shape then. But I want to get into the best shape of my life again. So with that said, I'm like, I need to start the process. Last year was a rough year for me. I had surgery. I wanted to let myself heal. I gained like 20 pounds. And I didn't do a lot of resistance training or anything. I just didn't want to hurt myself. Didn't want to go back and have another surgery. So that being said, this year I'm like, all right, happy birthday to me. I'm 45. This year, this 45th year, I know that I'm dedicated to this process now of rebuilding my health. And I invite you to go along with me. Why? Because for one, I'm building a relationship with myself. You can build the same relationship with yourself. Two, we get to build relationship with one another, right? Because we're doing it together. Three, it's going to impact the world around us, our hopes, our dreams, our visions, because we're going to talk about that too. And so we are on a mission to be well. My mission with the ranch is things are developing and changing, and I've been really evaluating things and taking time to say, what is it that I want from this place? And when I sat quietly and I was really thinking, I said, wellness. I want this place to be a place of wellness, relational wellness, physical wellness, right? Mental, emotional wellness. I want this place to be a place of wellness. Sure, there are the animals, but the whole environment, I want it to be a place of wellness where the message is everything that is birthed and grows from this place would be that of wellness. And so, like, it has shifted my life. Many of you know that when the pandemic happened, I had my own gym and I was doing training and I've been operating it for several years, and then I closed. And I haven't been really training people for the last few years. I really kind of called myself as being retired. And then lately, some people started reaching out to me. Hey, will you help me? Hey, would you train me? Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? And something in me like woke up again. It was awakened. And I remembered, I was like, I really loved helping people to transform their bodies. I love the relational process of transforming our physical health and wellness and how it applies to every relationship we have, because the relationship with you that you have with yourself is very important. And if you have an unhealthy relationship with yourself, it's going to spill over into other places. But the great thing about it is when you have a healthy relationship with yourself and you understand the principles of health and wellness, especially when you apply it to your physical, you can take those same lessons and apply it to other places. For instance, how do you nourish a relationship with someone romantically? Like, what do you do to nourish a romantic relationship? How do you feed it? How do you feed the fire of romance? See, we oftentimes say things, but we don't really process what we're saying. But if we want to have a healthy relationship, it's a good idea we understand health, right? If we understand health and wellness, we can understand how to apply that so that we can have healthy relationships. I saw a question. The question was, do you think taking the first step is the hardest part of the journey, physically or emotionally? I think that the hardest part of the journey is the mental, right? The mental part where we psych ourselves out is the hardest part. So that's why for me, I encourage you, don't overthink it. Don't think too much about it. Like, find something where you can take action. Because what's going to happen is the transformation is going to happen as your mind is renewed, but it's hard and it takes a while for the mind to be renewed. You can take action without really thinking a whole lot of it. If you just say, all right, I want to, let health and wellness wise, I'm going to do 10 squats. If you're able to sit down in a chair and stand up and you say, I'm going to do that 10 times, then guess what? You don't have to know all the anatomy and physiology. You don't have to know how the glutes are being activated, and you don't have to know all that. You just need to know, I'm going to sit down and stand up 10 times. Boom, that's it. Right? And so you start there. And if I remember I had a client that her goal was to be able to sit down and stand up without pain. At the same time, other women were in the gym. They're like lifting hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Her goal was, I want to be able to sit down and stand up without pain. I want to be able to do it without a cane and without any assistance. And so we worked through that process. I remember putting some books on her chair and stacking it up high. And I said, okay, you're going to squat down just a little bit to this chair. And she sat just a little bit, and then she stood up. And then we would practice and train from that place. And then over time, as she began getting stronger, I began making it more challenging by removing some of those books. And then it was getting lower and lower, and as she was getting stronger. And that took a while. But then as we were doing it, as we were on the journey together, I was then able to explain some things to her. I was able to talk with her and show her why and this and that. But she didn't need that day one. Day one, she was like, that wasn't necessary. Here's what I want to do. Can you help me? So think about, what do you want to do? What do you want with your body? What change would you like to see? And it's okay. I want to lose some weight. I want to get stronger. For me, I know I want to get my numbers back. Right? There were numbers that I would be able to do with the bench press and squats and all that. Some of them I want back. Some of them I know I'm not going to punish my body to get. I already know that. I've already resolved that in my mind. In the meantime, what am I going to do? Take action. Go out, start walking. Right? Start doing some pull-ups, start doing some push-ups. Just start. And then being part of the community, when you start and you're able to engage with other people, then it's going to help. It's going to encourage you. It's going to start building you up. And before long, you're going to be like, oh, you know what? I'm a month into this. You know what I did in this past month? I showed up and I took a walk every day. Wow, look at me. And you start to celebrate yourself, and you have other people that are celebrating you, and good job, pat on the back, and somebody posts a comment, all this stuff. We get to use all this stuff to build one another up so that we can have healthy relationships. So that when you go to bed at night, and you can rest your mind because you have had a sense of fulfillment. See, the fasting and fulfillment for 40 days, it was about removing something from our lives so that we could receive something else into our lives. See, when we fasted, I said, okay, I'm fasting from sweets, bread, processed breads and all that. I'm fasting from that. I haven't had a sandwich. I have on my birthday, the young ladies from the farm in my program, they gave me Reese cups and all, like, Reese's Pieces, and I have some Twizzlers in there. They gave me some junk food. I haven't eaten them. Nope. I was like, no, I haven't touched them. I had removed those things from my life because I wanted to accept something else and make room for something else in my life, which was an improvement in my health. It has changed my approach. I was gifted for my birthday a juicer. And so just because I have a juicer now, I go to the store. I went today and I bought carrots, cucumbers, oranges, apples. Why? Because now I get to put them in the juicer, and it's just fun. I get to make my own juice. See, sometimes when you start on the journey, then other people start to hear about the journey. Somebody might bless you with a gift or something like that. And then what happens is you start building up this system, this process by which you are now supporting the thing that you want. I posted this earlier. I shared that we don't have a problem with discipline. So many people, when I'm in the gym or training, they'll say, oh, I'm just not disciplined. That's not true. It's not true at all. You're super disciplined. People are like, if I was disciplined, I wouldn't have gained all this weight. It's not true. You were just disciplined in the wrong direction. You were just disciplined towards an undesirable result. So all you do now is you begin to acknowledge, I actually am disciplined, but I was just disciplined in the wrong direction. So if I can change the focus of my discipline into this direction, then I will have the desirable outcome because I'll be moving towards it. Young people in school, like a lot of times in schools, kids are in schools and they're cutting up and they're creating problems and teachers at times are like, this child is so bad and so distracted and all that. Sometimes what I'll encourage my teacher friends to do, I'm like, before you look at how bad they are, step back. Don't judge them yet. Don't evaluate them just yet. Watch what they do if you leave them alone. I believe you leave a child alone, leave a person alone, just watch them. Give them space. See what they do. See, that person, that kid, they're a little bit fidgety. They're not just trying to be disruptive. There's something in that being fidgety that works for them. There's a little girl, she does this thing and she'll like snap her fingers and she'll like rub her fingers when she's doing things and she's nervous, and I watch her and she's like trying to get on the horse and she'll like play with her hands and she like gets real nervous. And like it's not affecting her relationship with the horse. The horse doesn't mind. She does it when she's nervous and then she works through it. Then she jumps on the horse and she's doing what she's doing and she'll get fidgety. And then she starts to ride. See, sometimes we look at what we have and what we do and the way that we're bent and what makes us weird, and we start discounting that and then we start being negative about it. Well, that's an unhealthy relationship. Maybe, perhaps, if you just took your weirdness and started celebrating it and started moving it and you started disciplining that towards your desirable outcome, start letting those things work for you, then guess what? You can start creating momentum and energy towards the desire. I believe wholeheartedly we're all disciplined, but we're not always disciplined in a desirable way. Somebody's like, oh, my husband, he doesn't pay attention to me. He can't understand me. No, that's not true. It's not that he can't understand you. He's not disciplined towards understanding you. If you don't know your person you're in relationship with, if you feel so disconnected from them, maybe that's your opportunity to say, I'm going to discipline myself towards paying more attention. I'm going to put my phone down and I'm going to be present more. Like healthy relationship, ready? Healthy relationships. We want to have healthy relationships. Try it with your food. The next time you sit to eat, the next time you go out with someone, be there. Be completely there. I challenge you to put your phone away. Turn off all external devices, even if you're by yourself, even if you're alone. Be completely there. Sit there with your plate, with your food. Eat. Don't do anything else. Just like look at your food as you eat it, as you chew, taste it. Be all there. See, we say these things like, I have an unhealthy relationship with food. Okay, well, develop a healthy relationship. Start off by being present with your food, right? Be present. Taste it. See, look at it. When you cut it, like feel the texture. Like you can go so deep with this. Feel the texture of your food as you put your fork or your knife through it. See if you can be so sensitive and so aware of what's happening. Practice being present. Don't rush. Chew. Think. Be grateful for the moment that you have to actually have food. Think about how much of a blessing that is. Don't criticize yourself. None of that. Just be present. You want to start transforming your figure, lose a few pounds, get a little healthier? Just start off being present. Don't go try to get on some diet. That's not going to work anyway. Start being aware. Like, don't let these people online fool you. You start off being aware. You're going to build a relationship. It's going to take time. It's going to take an investment. So don't try to rush it. create a mindset of intimacy when you're working on whatever it is that you're working on, so that you can begin to progress through stages. So often, like, we can consume. I- I'm going to talk about this topic of food. I'm going to use this topic. We can consume food without really thinking about it. Now, me, I'm historically bad for reaching my hand in the bag of chips, right? If there's a bag of Tostitos, this is not sponsored by Tostitos, but if Tostitos wants to sponsor me, by all means, send me Tostitos. I will sit with them on this couch. But I'm historically bad for reaching my hand in the Tostitos bag. Keep on pulling them out. It's like, hey, every time I reach my hand in there, I pull something out. If I'm not being present. But if I begin to be present, I will say, all right, I know me. I know I'll sit here and I'll do this. So let me take some out. Let me fold up this bag. Let me put the clip back on it. Let me put this up in the cabinet where it's not really just, in my line of sight. Let me get it out of my way. Let me sit. Let me eat these chips. Let me be done. Mindfulness. It started to grow as I started to buy the different foods, apples and the oranges and all that. And now, because I'm going to juice, now I'm thinking, well, I don't need to crush a whole bag of chips. Not when I'm doing this other healthy behavior. See, now the healthy behavior is feeding a mindset for more healthy behaviors. You hear me say this all the time, that within the seed of something are more seeds of that thing. In the seed of a healthy behavior, like juicing, there are seeds of more healthy behaviors, like taking less chips, eating those, bagging up the rest, putting them away. That's a healthy behavior. It's unhealthy for me to just sit there and be undisciplined and just eat. Well, disciplined towards an undesirable action of just eating, because that undesirable action is going to produce an undesirable outcome, which is I'm not going to have the body that I want to have. It's not going to perform the way that I wanted to perform because I'm being disciplined towards a negative outcome, an undesirable outcome. But when we focus, we plant that one seed of health in our healthy relationship, it brings about another seed of consciousness and awareness. And then I was like, this is kind of cool. I'm juicing. Then you get all these, like, all the pulp after you juice. So I take the pulp and I said, I can take this pulp, orange, like the pulp of the orange and not orange, the pulp of the carrot and the pulp of the apple. Right? I take that pulp and I take it into the barn and I'll feed that to the horses. I'll mix it into like the horse feed and then I'll feed them. Which now I'm like, this is cool because I took this healthy action and I drank my juice that I juice myself. I now have this pulp that I can now add into the horse's feed. And so now the horse is even benefiting because I made a healthy decision. It's the same for your life. When you make a healthy decision, it is going to impact not only you, but somebody else and those that are in your life as well. This is why having and establishing healthy relationships are so important. So, as we look like at our lives, start to examine, where is an unhealthy relationship? Where have you been disciplined towards an undesirable outcome? How can you shift it? Start with the physical, right? Start with the physical. Start with something that you can do and something that you'll be proud of. Seriously, do not overwhelm yourself. If you know you want to be healthier, and I love fat loss. Like, that is my jam. Okay, so like, it's just I love that process. I love helping people do that. So I talk about it a lot. But if you know you're like, I want to lose body fat, great, great. What is the most simple, easiest action that you can put into practice today or first thing tomorrow? Not overwhelming yourself. I actually would encourage you to be underwhelmed. I would like for you to do something for the next 7 days where you, after you finish it, you're able to say, I could have done more than that. If you can do that, that's fantastic. You say, I could have done more than that. Don't though. Don't do more than that. Because when you know that you could have done more, that's now an invitation 7 days from now for you to step it up a little bit. But don't step it up all the way to the top, right? If you, I like the 5 minute example. If you know you can do 5 minutes today, right? If you know you could do 10 minutes today, don't do 10, do 5. If you know you can do 20, do 10. You see what I'm saying? Kind of set the bar a little lower so that you can get into the rhythm of showing up. That's what's most important. When you are beginning to have a healthy relationship, the number one thing you can do is show up and be consistent with a dedication and discipline towards the desirable outcome. Dedication and discipline towards the desirable outcome, that is what is going to change your life. The thing that you are looking for right now as you begin this next phase and this next journey of your life, this next chapter, the thing you're looking for is not quote unquote results. Don't start your wellness journey, your fat loss journey, your authoring journey, your relationship journey. Don't start that with, oh, I'm trying to get results. Oh, I need to drop 20 pounds. I need to drop 100. I need to do. No. You actually are not there yet. You don't get to make that request just yet. What you get to do in this relationship is start showing up. I oftentimes tell people this about their bodies because most people come in and they say, Brian, I want to lose 20 pounds. And I say, listen, I'm going to be the ambassador and the voice for your body. And when you tell me that you want to lose 20 pounds, you know what your body is saying to you? Your body is saying to you, girl, you don't qualify to get to tell me what you want from me just yet. You don't qualify for that because you haven't been taking any time with me. You haven't been investing in me nutritionally. There's a lot that you haven't done. So you don't get to ask me for that just yet. This is our beginning. So at the beginning of this relationship, what we're going to do is show up for one another. Right? Nobody wants to be in a relationship as soon as you start, right? As soon as you start the relationship, they come in the door talking about how they want you to change. We would all be a little upset. Like, wait, we just met. Now you're telling me you want me to change? Hold on. Let's ease back. Let's show up with one another first, and then get into a little rhythm. And then sure, you can, hey, yeah. Hey, there's some things you can point out about me. There's some things I'll point out about you. But let's build that first by being consistent and showing up. So that's what we do. Take that same approach with your own mental health, physical wellness, and you say, the greatest desire that I have right now is to show myself that I love myself so much that I'm going to show up and be present. Wake up and tell yourself, like, good morning, Katrina. I love you. Today, let's go for a 5-minute walk. I mean, if you can verbalize it, just verbalize it. Say, it might sound so silly, but it's not, because you know why? When you wake up in the morning, thank you, God, for another day to live. And then say something nice and kind to yourself, like, hey, good morning. Thank you, God, for another day to live. All right, me and you, kid, we're going to go out for a walk. All right, have the conversation. All right, let's do it. Go for your walk. When you finish, tell yourself, good job, kid. I'm proud of you. Have a good day. Have a great day. But tell yourself sometimes, good job. I'm glad that you showed up. There's nothing wrong with you showering your own ear with some praise. Like, if you have a voice, if you can articulate, if you know how to communicate, there's nothing at all wrong, and everything is right with you communicating to yourself that you are proud of yourself for taking action. Here's why. You've been created. You've been made for this. This is your moment. You've been made to dominate the day. You've been made to have rulership and ownership and authority over your life, that you can take charge of your health and your wellness. You might say, but there are so many things wrong, but don't worry about that. Find what you have and say, you know what? I'm going to be faithful and take care of what I have. And if I can do that, then I can look to be blessed with more. So if you can take a walk, take a walk. If you're in a wheelchair, and I know sometimes people, you might be in a wheelchair and you hear the message, and I use walking, but I think about you too. Look, go out, use your wheelchair, move. Ask someone to take you out. Use whatever functionality that you have. Like we're all in different phases and spaces, and we have different capabilities. You might say, Brian, right now I'm physical. I saw something over the weekend on YouTube, and a young man, he was I think about 600 pounds, and he just had a hard time actually physically moving. And you know what? You know what he did? He started flopping around. He was sitting on the couch and he just sat there and he would like put on music or whatever, and he would just move his arms. And he's just on the couch, right? Like just doing like this. He called it flopping around. He's just moving, boom, boom, boom. But trust me, if you do that for like 5 minutes straight, you'll be sweaty. You'll be out of breath a little bit. And he said, I just started doing that. Then after a while, he's like, because I was doing more doing that. I was doing more than I had been doing. Then after that, he had somebody sent him some weights, and he had some weights, and he had dumbbells and stuff, and he's sitting on his couch, still on his couch, and he's pushing, and he's just doing things on his couch. Then after he moved from his couch to taking laps, where he said, I would walk from my couch to the kitchen, which was about 10 steps. He said, one day I did 50 laps. Not 50 laps around a track, 50 laps from his couch to the kitchen. Why am I telling you that? I'm telling you that to encourage you wherever you are to build whatever health that you want to build, in whatever relationship that it applies to. Start off with the most simple thing. You're like, look, my spouse and I, we're not clicking right now. Okay. Is there anything that you could do? Is there any way that you could show up? Can you say to your spouse, even though you're not clicking right now, could you still tell them, babe, I love you? And things are going to change for us. Things are going to turn around. Can you still use your words? Even if you're not convinced, you may not understand it all, and you may not fully get it, but you can still say, listen, I love you, and things are going to work out for us. Things are going to turn around. Things are going to work in our favor. This is just a hard time, but we're going to make it. You might be looking at your health and wellness and thinking, this is too hard. There's so much weight for me to lose. I'm so discouraged. Okay. Can we discipline ourselves to look in a different direction and find something in the direction of the desirable that we can encourage ourselves with? Can you tell yourself, things have been hard, but today I am going to sit in this chair and chair dance for 5 minutes. I'm going to do something. I'm going to work myself up into a sweat in this chair. Looking for a job, applications haven't been hitting. You say, look, haven't found a job yet. I need Indeed. Indeed, I do. No, but you say, look, I haven't found it yet. Maybe, perhaps, all of my qualifications are leading me to start something. Maybe the door is closing for me on jobs because I have brilliance that I could share online. Maybe I can start an online class. Maybe I can start some kind of program. Maybe I can create a course. Maybe I can help somebody. Maybe just the job hasn't shown up yet, but I'm not going to quit. I'm not quitting. I'm going to keep trying. So I put in an application today. I'm proud of me for putting in an application today. I put in 2 on the next day. Great. I'm encouraging myself. I'm encouraging myself because I'm on the journey, right? I'm moving forward. So there you go. Celebrate taking action, moving forward, and making decisions and taking action to be healthy. It's a fantastic thing. So take that, run with that. But let's make it practical. Consider something that you want, a desirable outcome that you want for your physical being. Think about this. What is a desirable outcome that I want for my physical being? What action will I take immediately in order to make this happen? And then once you figure out the action that you can take, do it. Don't put it off. Do it. Because the sooner you can get the seed of action into the world, the sooner that seed can begin to grow. So no more delay. This is spring. Spring is here. What do we know about springs? A spring is something that when it is depressed and compressed, then when there is an opportunity and that release comes for a spring, it goes up and it goes faster at an accelerated rate, like immediately. A spring, like if this is your spring season, and I believe it is because you're here, this is your spring season, meaning that all the pressure that you've been under, all of the unhealthy relationships that you have been in, now is your moment where you say, I'm going to free myself to be in healthy relationships, and I am going to spring into it. I'm not going to ease into it. I'm not going to no, I'm going all in. I'm going to take my 5-minute walk. I'm going to get into bed early. I'm going to drink another bottle of water, right? Instead of eating 4 Reese cups, Brian, eat 3 Reese cups. Even though I'm not eating Reese cups right now, I could eat 4, right? I could eat the 4-pack. So I don't have to go from 4 to 0. I might not be there yet. There used to be a woman that I trained. She would drink 6 Pepsis a day. And I started off and I said, listen, can we go to 5? She said, I can go to 5. I said, well, let's go. She went from 6 to 5, from 5 to 4. And she worked her way down. But we didn't go from 6 to 0. I was like, no, let's go to 5. Can you do 5? I can do 5. So figure out your way to win. Boom. Let's go. Let's win. This is winning season. Okay? This is winning season. And so to kick it off, this is what we're going to do. In the next few days, I'm going to be sharing with you a lot of opportunity to get together and to be a part of, like some 8-week boot camps and things like that. And there'll be events at the farm and all kinds of stuff, right? But we got to take action, because this is not like just talking season. This is doing season, right? This is time to get into the garden of your life and start planting seeds and cultivating life. So get excited. Good things are going to happen. I believe that. So let's shut it down for the night. Father, thank you for this day that you've made. Blessed us and given us to rejoice and be glad in. And I pray, Lord, that this moment has been a fantastic moment for each and every one of us. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be together and for all your blessings. Thank you for the encouragement of these thoughts that touch all of our lives that we can all put into action. I pray that we would be people of action, not just thinking anymore, but doing, that we would suddenly and immediately spring into action, that we would take the discipline that we've had in undesirable actions. I pray that you would bless us to make the shift and focus towards the desirable, those desirable outcomes that we want to see for our lives. Let us focus there. Let us not talk ourselves out of it or believe that it's too great or too much. Let us believe wholeheartedly and support it with action that the things that we see for our lives, those good and perfect things, those healthy things, they're for us. The blessings that we imagine and dream of, they are for us. I pray right now someone's heart would just be encouraged to know that the good things that are available in life are actually for them. They're not meant to just miss out. And I know that sometimes life can be tough and we can get discouraged, but I pray tonight that someone's heart would just be lifted, that someone would just feel something different on the inside, knowing that they have power and authority to take action, that they can take what may seem to be a simple action, but that simple action can be the seed of life-changing outcomes and results. And so I pray for the simplicity of the next moment. I pray that someone would not overcomplicate, but that they would simplify their next most logical, easily attainable action, that they would do it, they would be consistent with it, and that seed planted in their life would grow into a great harvest. Thank you for all your many wonderful blessings in this time together. I pray that you would encamp angels of protection around each one as we go our separate ways. And we thank you, Lord, in advance for your many wonderful blessings. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. All right. I'm glad that you all have been here. I appreciate you. Running out of water, but let us have a fantastic night. Get to it, take action, and then be here tomorrow, 7 p.m., and check in and talk about the action that you took. Okay? Like, let's do that. Like, check in tomorrow because you did something, that you took an action and you got it in. That's what we want to do, right? Be people of action. Have a fantastic night. I love you much. I'm B.A. Shepherd, 2 P's, A-R-D, reminding you to be a shepherd. The world has enough sheep. See ya.